Hello Intuitors, it's Aria here. Welcome back to the Intuit Cafe, or as I have renamed it, the Intuit Oracle. I am really excited to bring you another week's worth of readings by sign of the zodiac. I'll be diving right into that in a moment. This will be the same introduction on every video, so if you watch or cross-watch for your moon or rising or Venus signs, or for maybe that partner's sign, you can go ahead and skip forward to the start of the reading. And I just wanted to give a little bit of an update about what's going on with the cards. In case you're new to the channel, the project I just completed, creating my own set of Oracle cards, which really is kind of a intermediate step in the process of my ultimate goal, which truly is to be bringing to everyone some kind of useful tools and ways that they can utilize to tap into their own intuition. And of course, Oracle cards are a really good way to do that with what you can feel inside of you the cards are trying to say to you, when it's not the cards actually, it's your higher self. You're tapping into your higher knowing and the knowing of your higher mind. But the thing and the reason that I believe cards as an intuitive tool works is because all they're doing is they're tricking our conscious mind into kind of taking a back seat and not imposing on our consciousness, on our conscious thought, what it thinks. Because our conscious mind, which I call the planetary mind, it's filled with all kinds of programming and preconceived ideas, and it is not tapped into that higher knowing. And if we want to deliberately tap into our higher knowing, we have to transcend the planetary mind, the ego mind, whatever you want to call it. And the cards are a way of helping us do that, or any kind of intuitive tool actually is a way of helping us do that. And again, I've said this before, but I want to reiterate that I also believe that anyone who goes to YouTube and watches readers such as myself or other readers on YouTube, you're still actually tapping into your own intuitive knowing. And that's the reason that general readings actually work, is because for one, I do believe that energetically it's a very fluid way for the universe to interact with us and send us messages. So, you know, for example, we can be prompted in just some little voice or just urge that's like, you know, I just want to go on YouTube right now and check if, you know, readings. And you just happen to go to one person's reading, and maybe you watch your moon sign and you normally watch your sun sign. So like, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're being guided along the way to see the reading that was really meant for you. And even when you're watching it, then you also are still picking and choosing the parts that resonate and the parts that don't. I always get better, more specific, and even greater detailed readings for people that I do individual readings for. It's always harder to read for ourselves than it is for someone else because of our planetary mind jumping in and wanting to say, no, that's not it, or even just not seeing things. Our planetary mind does get in the way. So ultimately, my goal is to create and develop and launch different intuitive tools. These cards are just a stepping stone. I've already gone through the entire process of developing a really kick-ass app for tarot, and I'm going to use Lenormand in it, and really my plan eventually would be possibly to do a lot of different kinds of intuitive tools, Oracle cards or whatever, all in this app. I have a way of delivering and helping people create their own messages in that app that's not like any other app out there. I'm super excited about it, but I had to completely shelve the project because I got to a certain point where it was developed and then I couldn't go any further without more money. And I was doing a channeling session with a very close friend of mine where we go in and we channel my higher self, and I'll ask the questions and then she receives the message from her. And again, I'm using her as a tool to kind of bypass my planetary mind that will block those messages from coming into me, which sometimes I do get messages and sometimes I feel like I'm not sure, you know, if I'm getting the right messages. Well, anyway, I asked, you know, how will I get the money to develop this app? And my higher self, whose name is Aria, that's why I go by that name when I'm reading, Aria says, well, you'll do it through some kind of crowdfunding. And I said, okay, so should I launch a Kickstarter, you know, to develop the app with the goal of raising money to develop the app? And she said, no, you'll come up with some other project that will be some other creative project that will raise the money for your app. And then I was like, oh, I wonder what that'll be. And then she goes, no, just stop. you're not going to like get there by trying to get there. If you try to think of a way to come up with this creative project, then it won't come to you like that. It'll just come to you. And the only hint she would give me was that I'll really enjoy doing it, and it utilizes my creative skills and abilities. And so I shelved that piece of information so completely that I had 100% forgotten about it. I didn't even think of it. So then I suddenly got this idea for these cards, and I was so excited about it, and I just dove into it, as you might know if you've been following me and didn't hear from me for a month. And so just completed that, and it wasn't until I was all the way finished with it that I was really starting to think, I think these cards have the potential to do really well. That's what, it hit me. I was like, I could use this to develop the app. I could raise the money for my own app this way. And even then I didn't remember what I had been told by my higher self in that session until later. And it really blew me away because it came true, and it came true exactly the way she said it would, that I wouldn't be like searching for it, that it would just come to me. And I have to say that along the way, the entire process has truly been about learning to surrender my control over things and just going with the flow, creating and manifesting things with the energy of the archetypes of the tarot. Tell us a lot about how to do that, with the magician is the manifester, but the fool takes the leap. And then we have the empress that just attracts things to her. But then we have the emperor that just goes out and gets things done. We have the high priestess, that's our higher knowing that guides us along the way, and so forth. That's the journey of the fool through the major arcana. So that's really what this has been about. And when I'm going to continue to do readings on a weekly basis, because partly just as a gift to everybody who's following me already, and then I want to build a larger audience so that when I'm able to launch the app, we have a place to tell people about it. But in light of all of that, first of all, every one of you, I know you have your own journeys. You come to my channel for different reasons. I do think from the feedback I get that most people are on kind of like some kind of divine love journey, awakening process, where you really realize that you're here on the planet for doing something extraordinary. And something extraordinary might just be how you live your life, that you live your life with so much light and love, and you bring in like a higher way of living and being. But along the way, I think we all kind of have this urge and this desire to create and make something that's above and beyond where everybody's kind of been at on this planet for so long. We really are trying to, we're not just trying to, we really are creating the higher dimensional living, which is where we're all headed. We're all headed into a higher frequency, where we're tuned into, our consciousness is tuned into our true divinity and the power of who we are as human beings, what we can really do and what we can really accomplish. Now, having said all of that, this introduction got quite long. I'm going to try to keep your readings short this week. They're going to be just a quick look at the week ahead. Thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, sharing my channel with others. And before I forget, the final thing is that my Kickstarter is doing really well. I'm at 70% funded, and I really would like to do about twice that many. If you are interested in these cards at all, please consider backing it. Share it with others if you know anybody else who might. And again, think about the fact that these cards are actually going to help bring in something else even bigger. So this is seed money to print a larger printing, which then will help me develop and publish the app. All right, so because of that, I'm going to have a special gift. Anybody who backs my campaign, who's a viewer of my YouTube channel, go ahead and you can just select the $66 package, which is the Oracle Trio of the 3 decks, and I will throw in for you the 10 planetary influencers, which is a $22 value, if you just message me back, and that way I'll make sure that you get the extra bonus without having to pay the next package up, which includes it. So just wanted to give you guys that, just my special gift to you for backing my campaign. Again, share this with others if you are so inclined, and we will talk to you soon. Stay tuned right now for your reading by your sign in the zodiac. Hello Aquarius, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle the cards here. I'm going to get into your reading for the week. I'm doing the first 2 decks of my set, which is the Nuance and the Picturesque Lenormand, which together make 72 cards. even if you've never been a card reader before or used intuitive tools, these cards are so easy to use that it can help even a complete beginner trick their planetary mind into allowing messages from your higher self to come through. Super fun, but I also think it's important. Like, you know, I was saying in the intro video, my goal is to be bringing intuitive tools to people because in time I do believe we'll evolve to the point where we don't need any kind of intuitive tool in order to, you know, really be connecting with our higher mind, but right now we still do. And so I don't know how much longer we'll need them as a human race, but until then, they're really, I think, a kind of a big important part of our spiritual involvement in our evolution, our soul evolution. So the center card is the main focus of this reading, and then the cards on either side are read in pairs and then also mirroring each other. And it is about, ooh, some kind of something harsh, something painful. It can even be just about something repetitive over and over again, or some illness, tension, but it could be arguments and fight, and even something abusive. So let's see what it's about. There's some kind of an end here, but that end has been developing over time. So we have the coffin and the wine. The coffin is about an end. It is about stopping. It's really good to see the coffin paired with the whip, even though they're both really negative cards. To me, it's very strange, but almost always true that when I have two really negative cards paired in a spread, that they actually end up bringing about a positive result in some way. Heart and fox. Okay, so there's a few different meanings here. I'll relate them, and I know certain ones will relate to some and others yes and no. Okay, so the fox in general is thought of as a negative card. Its positive side is that it can be just about your job or about work, but it's usually talking about or even the fox can also be loyal and you know, to its family kind of thing. Not loyal to people, that's like a dog. The dog is the loyal card. I mean, it's like loyal to its family and takes care of its family, but that's not the usual thought. What it's usually thought of is its more negative characteristics, where it's a trickster, it's insincere. You have to really watch out when the fox comes up in your spread. It's saying you need to be careful in this situation, and I would say that makes sense because we have the whip and the coffin. I feel like for whoever this is meant for, there's some kind of a situation that you're in. It could be a love situation, it might not be. It doesn't have to be love and romance here. We have the heart come up, doesn't mean it's about love and romance. It just means, you know, could be just about the heart, your heart's desire, where your affections lie, or even about forgiveness. But, you know, truly what we think about anything having to do with heart and our heart and soul, and it's being surrounded by some kind of painful things here. And so I feel like it's going to come up here for some of you just to affirm your situation. You're going through something really difficult, probably with someone else, or maybe just a circumstance that's been quite harsh. The good news is it's coming to an end, and this end has been like growing and developing over time. And so I feel like you've probably seen that, and you can tell, yes, this is coming to an end. But if you haven't been able to, you could kind of take like this reading as, you know, some positive assurance. Okay, I am going to come through this. It's going to end. But I also feel like it's just here to say, yeah, you're not crazy. I feel like this could even be the combination of someone who's gaslighting and who's been saying, you know, it's all you. What are you talking about? I haven't had, you know, there's nothing wrong. You're the person that's causing all the trouble here, and, you know, that kind of a thing. And that's the trickiness of the fox, and it's hurting your heart. The pain, the whip and the heart here is about things that are painful. And it has been a very abusive and harsh situation for whoever this is out there for. Now, if this is not a person, then it's a situation. The situation itself has, like, maybe there's a lot of people involved in it or something. It's been hard, and it's just acknowledging to you. You've gone through some really hard things, but it is coming to an end. So I just want to pull the spirit animal cards here for some more kind of advice, encouragement, whatever. And actually, they just told me that I haven't done this with anybody else. They said to pull 3 cards. So we're going to do that. Whatever reasons. Okay, so I feel like this is just all, and that's what I was hearing when they said pull 3 cards. Like there's a lot of encouragement here for you in kind of like how to navigate and go through this situation. So these are the energies to really utilize. And we have the grasshopper, which is about a leap of faith. So for someone out there, or for all of you, there's some kind of a leap of faith you're going to need in order to bring about this ending. It is going to end. It's been developing for a long time, but you're still having your part to do, and you're in order to end it. And your part is going to take a leap of faith, but they're saying don't worry, because moving on will be a good thing, and you will have luck and prosperity, and it will really be for the best. And then we have in the very center, we have the stallion, which is a driving force. It's very stable, but it's also about passionate desire for something, and a lot of yang sexual energy, and or just even yang energy. So I put that on there because, you know, well, I read it when I was doing research about it, that the stallion stands for that. But yang energy is like if the Emperor card comes up and he has that ability to just get things done, get shit done. So that's kind of what I feel like it's coming here for, because we also have, then on the other side, we have the raccoon, which is a very clever problem solver. And he's creative and resourceful, adaptable, even an entrepreneur. So they're saying on one hand, you need to take the leap. You've got to just get out there and do it. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. But at the same time, you yourself are going to have, like, you have the driving force within you. You have all of, like, tap into the yang side of your energy, because we all have, you know, yin and yang within us. Tap into that. Tap into your desire for what you truly want, what's your driving force in life, and then be a clever problem solver, because it is through that you'll get out of this situation. This situation is going to end, but it's not ending on its own. It is developing an end, but you're still going to have to take action. That's just, if I could summarize the reading in 3 words or 6 words, that's what it would be. All right, so if you guys would be interested in having a set of this entire deck, it comes in a set of 3. That's what I highly recommend, getting all 3. And then if you choose that $66 package from my Kickstarter campaign, you will get all 10 of these cards for free. Just message me and let me know you're a viewer of mine, and I'll make sure to put those in the package when I deliver them. Thanks you guys so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing my channel with others, and I'll see you around.